we all want to go to bed. At least I want to go to bed. I took a power nap. And let me tell you, boys, 20 minutes, not enough time. Basically, no benefit.
Dude, I can't even sleep for that. Like I can't short nap. I cannot take a nap less than 45 minutes. I'm just incapable. I will lay there awake, or I will fall asleep for 2 hours.
You are listening to the Any Anime Podcast.
And this is the duality of man, just like the duality of podcasts. Hi, this is the AAP. The duality being that some people think that this is a different podcast. Tanner, what podcast do people think this is sometimes?
They might think it's the Astounding Action Patrol.
Ooh. You know what? That does sound like a good podcast, but it's not that podcast. It is, in fact, the Any Anime Podcast, giving you another end of season review with your hosts, Kevin, Cade, and permanent guests, Tanner and Angel. It's like, look.
We told them to go home like forever ago, but they just decided to stick around. I don't know.
You ever have that uncle who just like stays at your house a little too long? Like it's a little like that. Of course, this is a wonderful time of the year because we have watched an entire season's worth of anime, anticipating week by week, just so we can give and share our opinions. But before we get into that, I want to get a quick little recap. It's been a while since we've been a group together. How are the boys doing? Cade, how are you doing?
Finally got a decent night's of sleep. I'm excited to have more.
That means you're going to be extra
helpful,
cohesive.
Yes.
Today, correct? Yes. Tanner, my boy, my little fairy boy.
Of course.
How are you feeling?
Good. Tired, but when am I not tired? That's the real question.
Were you eating dinner? Did you just wake up from a nap? No, you're eating dinner. Okay. Yeah. What was for dinner?
I made the Korean spicy ramen, and I had some leftover Korean wings.
That sounds good. Korean wings are good.
That banchan, Tanner?
It is.
Oh, banchan. A little pricey, but they're good. They're good. And then Angel is doing all right. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, boys. The end of season review is upon us. We have Delicious in Dungeon, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, Villainess Level 99, A Sign of Affection, which Tanner and I will review, and of course, Solo Leveling. Now I forget, Angel, did you watch Sign of Affection? Is that a show you caught up with?
Yes, I did watch it.
Oh, okay, perfect. You can share your 2 cents as well.
I think everyone in here watched it, right? No, Cade didn't.
Not Cade.
I didn't want my views to infect my viewing experience.
Not sure what that means, but all right.
We talked about it last time. I just don't believe that love is like that, and so it always irritates me when I see it.
I see.
Like I know it's a good show based on the 3 episodes that I watched. I'm just not interested in watching more because it irritates me, So
fair enough. So why don't we go ahead and do this in the order that I just listed off, because that also happens to be the order that they were in when we screenshotted the week 4 weekly rankings. So, Delicious in Dungeon. Now, Tanner, I think you're squeamish on spoilers, correct?
Fairly. But should I just
You can
leave,
you can deafen.
kick me out, pull me back?
You know what?
Hey, Tanner, wherever you go, I'll follow.
Oh, there we go. All right, and
and then it was.
and that just leaves you and me, Cade. All right. Wait, what the heck?
Delicious in Dungeon though.
Wait, I want to know why this guy's back. Why'd you come back? Okay. Interesting. Anyways, Cade, 12 episodes of Delicious in Dungeon. Obviously, there's more that have come out, but let's stick to the 12. What's the general vibe that you got? Like, how are you feeling about the show in general? And then we can get into specifics.
Love it. Yeah.
Love it.
It's just fun. It's the character interactions are enjoyable. The characters themselves are not annoying or irritating or anything like that. You know, they're solid characters, and each of them gets a little bit of character growth throughout the 12 episodes that we watch.
Mm-hmm.
The action is good when there is action, but mostly it's focused on, you know, the more slice of life aspect of it, which is, you know, just cooking, you know,
cooking and dungeon crawling.
Yeah, and honestly, that they do it well enough where I'm just like, fuck yeah, this is good. It's a feel good anime where I'm just like having fun, turning my brain off, and just having a good time, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the key word there, is turn your brain off, or the key phrase, I should say. It's not an anime that you really need to analyze so much as you just need to kind of get lost in, you know. It's very captivating in that way.
You do kind of get I don't know. I'm a very analytical person, and
totally.
When I did try to analyze one of the key functions in this, which is the, you know,
the digestion,
death, essentially, and and you know, revival and everything, like that's where my brain started hurting a little bit. We did find out more throughout the 12 episodes, and I think I've got a better understanding of it now, but it's honestly, I think it's just a better time if you just don't focus on it.
Totally. I honestly do think they do a good enough job of whatever lore questions that may pop up. They do get a good answer for them. And especially like episode 12, I feel like could have been the last episode of this season, but then they kind of tease at the very end, like the next arc or so, you know? But all right, let's go into some specifics. What are is there any standout episode? I know like all of the episodes had their own like recipe, had their own monsters that they focused on. Was there one that stood out in your head? Besides the red dragon, we can talk about that together.
I really liked the living armor episode.
Yes.
I think that was a really fun episode. I think the action was good. And the fact that it revolved around, you know, just, is it possible to eat these things? You know, like that's just kind of, that was funny to me. And I was able to really enjoy that, you know, they were risking their lives to find out if this was edible.
Yeah, and the fact that every food that they come across has like a real life counterpart. So, like the living armor is basically just shellfish. You know, it's basically like a mollusk type deal, right?
Yep.
I think it's like a really playful and imaginative way to like, you know, make this fantastical thing into something understandable, and we can kind of like imagine the taste even, right? Because it's they draw comparisons, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Which I think like immerses you a little bit more, at least for me personally. I think the Kelpie episode, no, Kelpie or the frogs, probably the frogs, because Marcel in that suit is fucking adorable in such an ugly way.
Pretty good. Yep.
When they like skin the frogs and make suits out of them, I couldn't help but laugh. It was just wonderful to see on screen, and then when they can't take the suits off because of the blood hardening, it was funny. I really enjoyed that. Very few misses in the show overall. I think the one thing I would say is that sometimes there's like a clear message a la like Saturday morning cartoons that happen in some of the episodes. So for example, in the Kelpie episode, like the guy has to like get used to has to accept like magic is useful sometimes, you know, and it comes off kind of like, yeah, little Saturday morning cartoonish occasionally. I wouldn't say all the time though, but I think that's one of the things that kind of like pulled me out of some of the episodes.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have anything like that, or is this like an overall positive experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was my favorite part, but it didn't throw me off. I think I kind of just took it in stride. I think once the 3 episodes, you know, that we watched, you know, I analyzed them and had fun with them. Once I watched the three episodes and I analyzed it and, you know, got really caught up on the whole, you know, revival
Lore
and everything like that,
mm-hmm.
I really turned my brain off because I realized that that's not really what this is, you know, supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, I don't know, it just kind of what you were talking about with, you know, the message of the story, right? Or message of the episode. I don't know, just kind of made sense for an anime like this, where, you know, it's just kind of like it really is, like you said, like a morning cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon. You know, it just makes sense. And I think I would expect to see this on a Saturday morning cartoon.
Totally.
Somewhere, you know, maybe not in America, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. I guess the reason why there's such a distinct like it's an oxymoron in my head, because it's got this Saturday morning cartoon vibe sometimes, and then there's what's her name, Namari, just getting a bullet hole in her skull, and like it's very graphic and it's animated and it's all, you know, it's not shadowed out or anything, you know. It's like, yeah, you know that death isn't like a risk necessarily, but also seeing someone's skull get a hole into isn't exactly like something you would see in a Saturday morning cartoon. So I don't know, I guess it's kind of like that a contrast by any stretch of the imagination. I think I'm just more so trying to play a little devil's advocate, but it is one of the feelings that I felt watching this show.
I think they should have chosen their demographic more specifically.
Nah, I don't think so. I think I that's the thing. I wouldn't change the show. I think it's great. I think it's a great show. I just think, like, you know, yeah. I think it's more of a me thing, to be honest. You know, I think I just need to let go of that. I gotta change my answer real quick. I just looked at the episode titles for the show. I think my favorite episode besides the Red Dragon is the court cuisine episode, where he goes into the paintings and there's like a story being told in the paintings, and he's kind of ruining this like this world's by going from painting to painting, and it's great. It's great. I love that. I thought it was very imaginative and very satisfying to see him like jump in from world to world. It was great. It was great. I think that was probably my favorite.
Enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it more though if that was an actual way to eat in the dungeon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think that would have made more sense with the,
Well, you can eat in there. It just won't when you leave.
Yeah.
It's like you haven't eaten. What happens in the painting stays in the painting.
Unsubstantial. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were some other episodes? I feel like there are some that I'm just not remembering. You got the basilisk.
Basilisk was good.
The water, the kraken.
The water. You mean the kelpie?
The kelpie.
Kraken? Oh
yeah. Well, there's like a kraken.
There is like a kraken. You're totally right. You're totally right.
The coin bugs, were those a part of the living armor episode?
No, they were a couple episodes later when they run into the frost spirits.
You know what? I think I've got to change my answer too then.
With the sorbet.
Yeah, because the sorbet actually looks so fucking cool because it's got like the edible gems in it and everything.
Yeah.
And it was also you could also use it as like a ghost banishing weapon. Holy water. That's what it was. It was like
it was like chilled holy water. Yeah, that was good. That's a really good episode too. And obviously that first episode I think starts off the vibe super strong and kind of sets the expectations for the show as well. Shout outs to that first episode. Let's go and talk about the absolute banger of a climax that was that Red Dragon 1 and 2. Those episodes were amazing. Like, I think this entire time while watching, I was like, okay, it's a great anime, but it's not quite a trigger anime. You know what I mean? It's very standard. I almost feel like A1 Pictures could have done this. Like, any like top tier studio that isn't Mappa or Trigger could have done this, and it would have come out mostly the same. But that Red Dragon fight is really where like that Trigger pedigree like jumps out at you, and like expressions like got way more attention to detail. The like falling debris and the way the dragon moves, like it was wonderful. And then you put in the dark magic that you see for the first time, looks fucking rad as shit, and that's all interwoven with like the emotional resolution of having like Fallon revived through the dark magic, and that whole sequence is really touching. I really enjoyed those 2 episodes. I think it's the clear highlight of the show. I don't know if you feel the same way necessarily, but that animation was just so crisp and so good that I can't help but like speak volumes about how good it was.
Yeah. Logically, I think it should be the highlight. My heart really does go with the coin bugs. I don't know what it is with them, but like I just really enjoyed them eating them as potato chips.
Fair enough.
But no, like I think the second episode, the Red Dragon second episode, I really enjoyed. Getting Fallen back, and there are all the characters' interactions with her, but then also realizing that it's not going to end at the 12th episode. Like that realization was nice. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're actually going to be able to, get some experience with Fallen in the group and see where this whole, she's got this new power up, or assuming, we can see more about what that's going on, and I think the 12th episode definitely got me hyped up for the rest of the season. I think episode 11 was, I think, like the top of the animation for sure.
Oh yeah.
It was just a really enjoyable fight scenario sequence too. Having fucking what's the main guy, the knight,
Laios.
having his leg bitten off, and fuck, I actually thought I'm forgetting the dwarf's name.
Senshi
Senshi, and then the halfling
and Chilchuck.
Chilchuk. Got such interesting names.
Yeah, they do.
I thought they died for sure. I was like, oh, okay, because they had the fucking like rocks hit them in the head.
Oh yeah.
It looked like they actually got crushed. I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. So this is where this goes now. But I don't know, man. It was just a really enjoyable fight. But I still feel like the best part of this 12 episodes has been that episode. I don't know. I really enjoyed it for some reason. I don't know why, but
The
it really stuck
sorbet
with
episode.
me. Yeah, it really stuck with me, and I enjoyed it. So
no, I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for that. There's definitely some like bangers, like one shot episodes.
yeah.
So let's get to the meat of this conversation. Where would you rank it? Of course, in the end of season review, we rank shows from F tier to S tier, with S tier being just like a fucking phenomenal Hall of Fame worthy anime, and F tier being like the worst of the worst. And then we'll kind of describe each tier as we go. So Kate, do you think this was an A tier, B tier, S tier? Is kind of the vibe I'm getting from our conversation. Like what's the general vibe from you?
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna put this in S tier. I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person out there who could watch this and be like, not for me. You know, like there's something in it for everyone. I really don't think there's anyone who could be out there like, nah, there's nothing in this for me, you know?
Yeah. It certainly is hard for me to imagine. Yeah.
It's got everything, you know, everything you need in an anime is right there. I suppose if you're a romance diehard, I guess you only watch anime for the romance. Yeah, maybe that's not for you, but you can still ship people, you know?
You could.
Fucking Fallen and the elf girl.
And Marcel, yeah.
Marcel in episode 12, and they're on the bed and in the bath. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Thought we were gonna get a little Yuri, you know? But
no,
like there are very little gripes I can have with this show, and the ones that I do are just little hangups that are personal.
Yeah.
I think this is top tier anime when you're just looking for something to put on that you're just looking to have a good time, right? You're not looking to overanalyze a story or, you know, or anything like that. You know, you're just, yeah.
It would kind of be dope anime to play with some friends, you know, like, you know, if you have some friends who are like not like weebs, but you know, they've watched like a My Hero or something, and you're just hanging out and say, hey, let's put on some Delicious in Dungeon, and I think that would actually be a good time. It is a very casual friendly anime, but not an anime specifically made for casuals, which makes it perfect for Netflix. I think Netflix definitely hit a banger with that demographic.
Yeah, I knew it was on. I knew it was on Netflix.
Yeah, you knew that. I mean, I'll be honest. I was teetering between like a high B, low A while watching up until the Red Dragon scene episodes, and then now I'm like it's absolutely an A tier show, no doubt. Like the B the B tier stuff is out of my head.
I think you're right. I think I would have put it in an A tier up until the last couple episodes. Specifically just because, you know, it was very strictly just a slice of life kind of thing. But the way they incorporated Fallen back into it, and the way that they you know, did the dragon fight, nothing felt out of place. And a lot happened in those 2 episodes, so a lot could have gone wrong in my head, at least, you know.
Totally. No, you're not wrong.
And they hit it. They hit every part of it, I feel. And, you know, just I will say one thing. This is me overanalyzing, I think, but
Let's hear it.
like the whole like black magic with Marcille. I'm sure it'll come up later. Like, how has that been a secret this whole time? Right? I mean, like, Fallen and her went to school together, and like she said she's been studying like this her entire life, and like
I mean, I kind of had a little bit of a hint personally, because I thought it was really weird that she had like a couple of other spells, but she mainly just used like basic explosion and fire magic. And look, I'm not familiar with the world, obviously, because I've only been shown what the anime has shown me, and we don't see that many other mages, so we don't know if like, oh, do mages have like, you know, a variety? Do they like specialize in a thing? Do they do a variety? Like, is it a talent? Is it like something that you train for? We don't have that much information on that stuff. We know Marcel's a prodigy, but that we have no baseline to judge her against. But the word prodigy in my head, like when they were discussing, like when they were doing the background, why am I blanking on the word? The flashback. The fact that they threw prodigy out, but she has low key been like a little limited in her magic. I always had a little bit of a suspicion that there was something at play there. I didn't necessarily think she was a dark mage or anything like that, but I did think that something was a little off with that.
I felt like it was more because of the whole Basilisk episode, where I think it was the Basilisk episode where she was like trying her best to like get the mandrakes herself, right? Using like the book method. Like the fact that she, you know, was considered a genius, right? But only in a book sense, not in an experience sense. I thought maybe she was a genius at like test taking and like studying and, you know, everything in the books. Maybe that, like, I thought that's where that was going, but the way that you're describing it makes 100% more sense. So I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I could totally be wrong, because again, I don't have anyone to compare her to. Like in Konosuba, Megumin, you know, there's a comparison. Like she can only use explosion magic, and her whole clan can. But like the different mages there have like, you know, varying levels, and they have like different techniques that they use, and we get a very clear baseline with that. We don't really have another mage to compare her to, even with Fallon's resurrection, because then now she looks like she's something special, right? So even then, we don't really have a baseline there either. Yeah, we just get the flashback and we get the, you know, bits and pieces here and there. But anyways, that was a little off topic. In terms of ranking, yeah, I'm in this weird spot because I'm like, okay, it's definitely an A. Is it good enough to be S? And
I think it's definitely like back of the pack S, that's for sure. But
okay,
I would not be upset if we put it in an A tier. But
I'm trying to like justify it in my head. Okay, it's good for casuals, but it's also good for weebs. You know, I can see myself rewatching this in the future. Not that that's necessarily like a thing that I use to judge anime, but it is a plus when it's there, right?
I think
I
there are
could watch this
very
with friends, you know.
very little. There are very few shows that I can actually turn my brain off for and enjoy it.
Mhm.
You know, I enjoy analyzing anime. I enjoy critiquing things, and so when something like this comes along, it's nice to not do that as well. You know, it's like a change of pace. Hunter x
Yeah.
Hunter did that for me too.
Totally.
And I think you're right with, you know, being able to put it on in the background for social things.
Totally.
Like, yeah, like I personally, I feel like I can do that with Hunter x Hunter. Like I can just put that in the background while I'm playing like a game or something, you know, because I don't really need to pay attention to it. I've watched it before, and you know, it's flashy, it's colorful, the fights are good, you know, and like it's fun, you know, and same with this one. This one's just fun, and it's hard to find that these days, I feel.
You know what? Here's what I'm down to do. Because there's another 12 episodes. I think it's fair to say that this 12 episode stretch is S tier worthy. I think it'll be an interesting conversation if we'll say that about the entire package. You know, I have faith in Trigger.
Let's put it in A tier for now.
Yeah.
And then we'll watch the rest of the season, and we'll pick it up. We'll mention it in an episode for next season.
So funny enough, because it's on Netflix, it has like a 2 episode head start over everything that's airing this season. Like episode 15, I think, comes out this week. So by the time it finishes episode 24, it'll be like before the end of season review for summer. So we're going to be looking pretty good in like doing a dedicated episode for this one if we need to. So yeah, I'd say a very strong A. I'm very happy with that.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's get the boys back in here real quick. And welcome back, Tanner. And
was telling
Angel.
me about pickleball. Gosh.
Pickleball?
Talking about pickleball.
Hey,
Pickleball's all right.
this ain't
It's
a
all right.
pickleball podcast, all right?
You're right. We hate pickleball here.
That's right. Get the
Not
fuck
wrong.
out.
Yeah, I mean, look. I play pickleball a little bit. It's fun, but it's not my sport of choice.
Yeah,
you know,
that's fair.
I think that's fair to say. All right, so that concludes our Delicious in Dungeon review. Let's go ahead and move on to the wrong way to use healing magic. Which, Angel, are you caught up with this one?
Yeah, I finished it.
Wonderful. So you can join us for this one. Angel, what's your general opinion on this show? The 13 episodes.
I enjoyed it.
What about it though?
Bro, they introduced Best Girl.
The Black Knight?
Yeah, Black Knight.
Yeah. I don't agree, but
You're
sure.
entitled to your opinions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cade's more of a Bluden kind of guy, you know? The little blue bear.
The little bear. Yeah.
Blue bear.
I'm a Suzune guy. I really like the senpai.
Bro,
I never get tired of her.
Character, all right.
I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, if Rose wasn't in the anime, she's probably the most unique character in the show. Cade, what are your general vibes with the show?
It's hard because I enjoyed this show.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain episodes that have not ruined it, but have come close to ruining it for sure.
Are clearly worse. All right, can I take a guess?
Yes.
Is it the Rose flashback episode?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny.
I like him, yeah.
I agree 100%. And for me, I don't know what the consensus is. For me, it was Rose's voice actress. Yes. I think she's really good. She's really good otherwise. But when she was
When she
told to
screamed,
that was
I lost it, dude. There's no shot that they put that in there.
And it's a very or supposed to be an emotional episode where you get Rose's backstory, her tragic backstory, and it does come off a little. You guys have seen the original Justice League movie, right?
Nope.
Not Dan Schneider. That's wrong. Snyder's in the name, right? What's his name? Holy shit. Tanner, you know what I'm talking about, right? Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's first.
Zack Snyder, yeah.
Zack Snyder. His first Justice League movie, not the, well, technically it was Joss Whedon's. Well, you know what I'm talking about. The Gal Gadot, like, Kal-El, no. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that moment from that movie, but it's like this, it's just terrible voice acting in an emotional moment, or supposedly emotional moment. I kind of related to that, and that's not a good thing to relate to, because that's like one of the worst things that ever happened in any movie, in my opinion. So yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think there's anyone who disagrees with your sentiment there, Cade.
Good. Okay.
Because and I'm looking at the Mal rating for that episode specifically. It's the lowest at a 3.9. The baseline's around a 4.2 to a 4.5. So I think a lot of people really, really did not like that episode. And I don't mean to talk shit about the voice actress, because she's a great Rose otherwise. That episode was terrible. That episode was so bad.
Maybe it was so bad that I blocked it out or something, but I don't
really
remember any of this.
Oh my god,
it was rough.
Yeah. What else, Kate? I'm sorry. I think I got distracted by Zack Snyder.
The forest episode, I think we talked about in the first the mid-season recap.
Mm-hmm.
The animals, I think, was kind of rough. I really don't see the necessity for Blue
Definitely not yet.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't, he barely shows up in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just take him out, man. You don't need him in there. It's okay.
Cade's a kill all monsters kind of guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to eating the monsters, not sparing them.
So I can't remember. Is he even accompanying what's his face? Usato's new mission?
Yes, he is.
Okay, Blue Rin is okay.
He was on the side of the wagon or something, I believe.
So I guess, he is going to be at least a little more present in season 2, and I think they announced this season 2. I could be wrong.
They have not announced
if you're
it,
right.
but the way they ended the season, like, there's no shot they don't have season 2 planned, right?
That's what it looks like, but I mean, look, man, I've seen Noragami season 2, and let's just say we're season. Just because they ended in a way that sets up the next season does not mean that the next season is coming. Blue Rin is a little bit of a background character. When he kind of appeared like he was going to be the mascot for a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Cade.
I'm not satisfied with the side characters. Are you?
Are you talking about the other heroes?
The other heroes, the sidekicks, like the henchmen, I guess.
The thugs.
Yeah. I mean, just anyone who's not Usato and Rose. I feel like those two are really carry the entire show, and
Mm-hmm.
I wish we saw more from the at the very least we saw more from the other two heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just feel like it falls flat a little bit because of it.
I definitely feel yes, they could have done more, but it's like Usato is clearly the main character. You know what I mean? And it's not like a My Hero where Deku's like the main character, but the true main character is Class 1A, right? In this show, I don't get that vibe really from the beginning. It's all about the wrong way to use healing magic, which, by the way, that is a line that they dropped at some point. I thought
They
that was
did.
a little corny. That's definitely the wrong way to use healing magic. Yeah, a little corny there, but I think the biggest thing about this anime is the plot isn't spectacular. The characters, I'll give you this, Cade. Like Usato and Rose are like really the only standouts, and of course Angel, the Black Knight. But god damn it! Did I have fun with this show? I feel like I really enjoyed the comedic timing. I really enjoyed the premise, which is like just battle ready healers. It's an interesting vibe for sure. And the way Usato trains and the way Rose has like her grip on him. You know what? I think I said this during the mid-season review, but my favorite aspect of the show is seeing how Usato gets like, he's kind of like Play-Doh in Rose's hand, and she's just squeezing hard and molding him into what she wants. I think that is my favorite part for sure. And seeing I think there's an excellent payoff when he like defeats the Black Knight. I think that is a super satisfying moment. You see all this training, you see all this growth, and you see all that resolve in him. I really thought that it culminated in a satisfying, punch to the face.
Yeah.
When it comes to the rating of this show, Angel, how do you feel?
Well, like on a scale of 1 through 10, or
On a scale of F through S?
I think it's a low B for me.
Mm-hmm.
Probably C for other people, but yeah.
What keeps it from being an A? Like, what's the obvious? Like, this is why it's not an A.
I don't think the story or the animation is good enough to be an A.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But it's still very enjoyable. I mean, there's a reason it's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we talked about the studio Shin A. They haven't done a whole lot of action anime. They do a lot of slice of life stuff. So this is kind of their first foray into this genre, or one of their first, I should say. They have a couple other, but Cade, what are you feeling here? Does Best Girl sway you enough? Best Girl Black Knight.
You know what? She does. I'm putting this in B.
You know why it's Sways Cade? It's the same voice
What?
actor as voice actress as Mao Mao.
Oh, all right, makes sense. No, I was gonna put it in C, but I think that one scene with her crying, I think was really cute, and I'll give it some extra points for that. No, man. I like it, but I'm not gonna recommend it to anyone. You know.
I see. Yeah.
Like if someone asked me, like, hey, let me get a recommendation on something, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is the one you need to watch. It's just it's hard because I can't really put my finger on it.
I mean, I think the production quality.
I can. I actually can.
Oh, he's got it.
It spent a total of 2 episodes on the purpose of him being there, which is being out on the field, fighting and healing. Did it even take 2? It did take 2 episodes, but like, man, we've been. It's so frustrating because like we spent this entire time watching him do his training arc, and all this, and by the time he's ready to go out there, we get a shitty Rose backstory, and then we get 2 measly bits of healing and fighting, and that just it's so frustrating. I feel like the viewers deserved more, I don't know. Maybe it'll get better with more episodes. Is it a 2 arc?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 1's done.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with both of you. I have it in B. I think that was my gut reaction. The animation could use a bump. The story, again, like it's not amazing, and I do wish we had more like large scale battle scenes, because the little bit that we did get I thought was pretty cool, and the whole dynamic of him having to dodge, bob and weave and carry and all that. I thought that's like an actual interesting way to have a healing battalion, right? But we don't get that much. We don't get that much of it. And then even the season 2 setup looks like it's going to be more one-on-one Usato and his like immediate party kind of thing going.
Yeah.
So, but again, I cannot stress enough. I did have fun with the show. I had a lot of fun. And the dub, I stopped watching the dub around the Rose arc because I had just caught up and I wanted to watch more. The dub is fun too because the demons speak in an English accent, which I thought was an interesting decision. And there's not really an accent change in the sub that I can really point to. I'm sure maybe like someone, a dialect expert or someone that might be able to distinguish, but I personally couldn't. So there's I think overall, me good time. So I think we're all in agreement. It's a B tier show. The wrong way to use healing magic. So which means it's good. It means it's good. C usually is like guilty pleasure / like it's good but needs a little bit more. I think this crossed threshold for sure. Let's go ahead and move on to maybe potentially the dark horse of the season, given the fact that it's a Villainess show and we passed it. Villainess Level 99. I know, Tanner, you probably have not watched this one, have you?
No, I have not.
But Angel Cade, I know both of you have. Let's talk about Villainess Level 99. What do you guys think?
Show irritates me.
Bro, what about those dragons?
What about them? They're perfectly fine and normal and not uncanny at all.
Correct.
Animation's certainly not this anime's strong point. What would you guys say is the strong point for this show? Like, why did we pass this in the mid-season review, our 3-episode review?
Question: why did you guys pass it?
The plot.
Plot.
What plot? I think having a dry character, right? Bit of an airhead.
Mm-hmm. Dry and an
Fighting-
airhead, Q combo.
Fighting to rid her name of evil, essentially, right? Everyone thinks she's bad, she's a villain, all these different things. She's trying her best to not be that person and trying to convince everyone else that she's not that person. Watching her go through that is a very enjoyable experience. But god damn, dude. The animation, dude. So bad. It's so bad. And there were so many good points to use it at, and they just didn't,
Yeah.
They just
They had
didn't.
opportunities.
You could tell that they just didn't have the funding for it, and it's so frustrating.
I think that's obvious, yeah. I don't think it's due to a lack of trying. But that doesn't necessarily erase the sins that they committed on the screen. Yeah, for me, I guess the plot's very Otome game, a la Ray Liano or Trapped in a Dating Sim. So I wasn't huge on the plot necessarily, but the Yumilia as a character, it's just so easy to root for, and seeing her kind of wipe the shit stains that are the prince and his friends, by proving that she is all powerful and yet all good is very satisfying. Her relationship with Patrick, I thought, was pretty well fleshed out too, and it looked pretty good. That scene where he's like, "Man, I've been training this whole time so I could be stronger, because you said you only date strong men," and she's like, "Dude, that was a fucking lie. I just wanted him off my case." He's like, "All right, well, let's fucking smash faces," and boom, it's satisfying. It's a lot of the threads that I was rooting for, I think, were closed, and they're good. Besides the animation, do you guys have any other sort of complaints or any sort of marks against the show? I personally don't have any complaints, but that's not besides the animation. That's not necessarily,
No, I do.
Oh, you do.
Okay.
All right, what you got?
The ending, the boss fight was very, very underwhelming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you can't even blame it on not having the animation budget for it. It was, I think the boss attacked maybe a total of 3 times.
Yeah.
And dude, it is just,
yeah, that last sequence, you are right that it was bad. I can't even say it was
very
serviceable.
disappointing.
It was just bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad and rushed.
Yeah. I wish we could have seen more with Yumiela. What's her name? Yumiela?
I always say Yumilia, but I don't know how
Yumilia?
they
I don't
pronounce it in the how they
That's how
pronounce
I
it
would
in the
say it
show.
as well, Emilia.
I wish we could have seen her be a count.
Oh, that would've been
Actually be
fun.
in charge of people. A dry
Yeah.
airhead being in charge of people would have been so fun.
Mhm.
Just telling her her peasants to be like, go train in a dungeon. You'll be better once you do.
Yeah, it would have been
That would've
nice.
been good.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it would have given me more of what I enjoyed about the show, which is her trying to erase the stigma of black hair.
Mhm.
Her training the people of her land that the color of her hair is not a reason to fear her, kind of thing. I think would have been enjoyable to watch.
Mhm. But alas,
yeah.
this is the dark timeline, and we did not
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Angel, did you have anything that you want to add?
Oh, Not really a whole lot for me. I didn't think the anime was anything special. The manga wasn't anything special either. So I mean, yeah, I dropped the manga after a certain point because I got bored, and the animation budget just could have been better.
Yeah, it could have been.
We say that for a lot of shows, so.
So where are we? So the general vibe I'm getting is like a C to maybe even a D. What are you guys thinking here?
I'm gonna say C
again. Yeah, guilty
because
pleasure in that range.
I'm not upset that I watched it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like I'm glad I watched it, but I'm not going to recommend it to anyone ever. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
It's a C tier for me for sure.
Yeah, I would say C tier for me as well.
I think that's actually the prime definition of a C tier. I'm not mad at myself for watching it, but I'm not going to lead anyone else down this path. If someone was like, "Hey, I watched every Villainess show except for Level 999," I'd be like, "Well, I promise you've seen worse Villainess shows, so go ahead," because there are some really bad ones out there. But yeah, nothing special. Nothing special. C tier, guilty pleasure, not D tier, which is like in that boring to like starting to get on my nerves kind of range. So I think we're all in agreement there. Now let's get Tanner involved.
Hi.
Finally. Tanner, did you catch up on Solo Leveling?
No.
Do you watch anime?
Yes.
Tap.
Angel, I was literally talking to you last night about watching Fear, and that's the show that I have been watching.
Oh, I see. Let's go ahead and start our sign of affection review. Cade, feel free to take notes as we explain why this is the best romance ever, according to Tanner.
Yes.
Hyperbole? We don't know yet.
No.
Not
hyperbole.
Sign of affection, Tanner. Give us the general vibe first. Let's do a little round robin of the general vibe, and then we can talk about specific moments.
Itsuomi, ideal man.
He's peak male.
Peak. He is there. His relationship with Yuki is everything everyone wants. It's the most wholesome, most just like it's got you. It's the kind of show that'll have you kicking your feet under the desk while you're watching.
Okay, like a little schoolgirl.
Exactly.
All right. That's a quote.
Do you want a more actual description of it, or?
I mean, we'll get into specifics. Angel,
Okay.
what's your general vibe? Goated.
With the sauce?
Goated. Oh wow.
I would agree.
Wow.
Oh, of course I agree.
I have somebody in my corner. That's all I need.
So, it's hard for me to throw the word goated around, but it is without a doubt a no-brainer. It's an excellent show. Excellent. And this might be a little bit of bias on my part, but I think because it takes place in a college setting as opposed to a high school setting, I love it that much more because of that.
Oh, same. I feel like it's so much more relatable too.
Yeah. Yes. And to the point where I have to be honest with myself. Do I like this show more than Horimiya? And because like strictly, I think they both do a lot of the same things. And they both do them like super well. But just the relatability to Sign of Affection for me as an adult is just like it moves it to another level.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I would say that like if I had to give someone a definitive tier list of like my favorite romance shows, I would probably put A Sign of Affection over Horimiya. But
mhm.
they're different. They're different.
They are. No, they are. They no, for sure. But they do something. They both do something similar, which is it's not just about Yuki and Itsuomi. You got Emma and Sheen. You've got Reen and the other guy. There's multiple couples, and that's why I made the comparison to Horimiya, because it's not just about the main couple, you know?
Yeah, they do the character interactions really well.
Mm-hmm. In the group, yeah. Tanner, do you have a favorite moment / episode?
Oh, it's so hard to decide, honestly. And it's because like every show literally has me like fucking overjoyed watching it. Like genuinely one of the cutest shows I've ever watched was smiling through every episode. So it's tough to pick. I think
What comes to mind?
Oh, gosh. The sign language camp was a fun little moment.
Mm-hmm.
When Yuki accidentally laughs out loud, that was cute. That was peak
Tickle
moment
fight
right there. She got all embarrassed by it, and oh, what else? I mean, and then it probably partially recency bias, but like I feel like the last episode did a good job of like it didn't make it feel like the show ended or they were trying to like force an ending, but it left everything resolved enough and like you got the moments you wanted out of it. Yeah. No, I love it. I pre-purchased the manga before finishing the show, even though I knew I wasn't going to read it while I was watching the show. That's how good of a show it was to me. That's how much I knew from like episode 4 that I was going to love this show.
Yeah, it doesn't ever let up in the wholesome cuteness. Angel, do you have a favorite aspect or episode of the show?
I can't say I have a favorite like moment. In the same way Tanner said, like, oh, well, I was just happy watching every episode, honestly.
So
if I had to name a memorable moment for me, it was the Costco.
Costco was a fun one. It actually was. They had the cute scene where they were like, "Oh, Itsuomi says Yuki's name all like you can tell that."
Yes, he's speaking more affectionately, and obviously she can't hear it, but yeah, they convey that to her, and she blushes like it's like a secondhand blush, you know. It's adorable. I think you guys basically named most of the moments that I had in mind. I always go back to that like episode 1 with when she drops the umbrella and she's doing her happy dance.
Yes.
Instant classic. I think okay. We talked about this in the mid-season review, but I think I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I hit the nail on the head when I said that one of the things that really keeps me engaged is that because shows can either be way too wholesome or way too dramatic, and both can be overwhelming in different ways. Like a wholesome show, if it's 100% wholesome, starts to become not so wholesome anymore because you're just like, if everything's wholesome, nothing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it starts to fall a little flat.
Yeah. And then with some shows that are like just way too dramatic, a la Gamers, a show I fucking despise, you never get like, or you get very little resolution, and you're just in this constant like drama state where you're always like, I don't want to say anxious, but you just never feel like there's going to be a resolution, because it's just constant like, drama. This show, it doesn't have like any insane drama by any stretch, but it has some, with Oshi and Emma and Sheen's feelings and Rin being afraid to confess her love. And I think it's woven in perfectly with Yuki and Itsuomi's like relationship, that I, for all 12 episodes, felt very engaged with the story, and I had a really good time. I never felt bored, never felt like I was being overwhelmed, with stimulus. I got to give the show props for that. It's a fantastically paced show for being a romance. Like, that's harder than it sounds. They use all 12 episode runtime, I think, really well. Tanner.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of negative, or maybe even just like a neutral opinion about like an aspect of the show, or like a plot decision or something?
An aspect of the show or a plot?
Yeah,
decision.
something. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's not necessarily about the show. Like, I don't like Oshi as a character very much.
yeah.
Like,
and I don't think you're supposed to, really.
No, yeah, like they do give you like more context later on in the show, right? And so you sort of get a bit of his backstory and you understand a bit more. But I'm like, Oshi, I'm sorry, man. You've lost. Itsuomi is too good.
You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Well, you should start worrying, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I guess like Oshi's like little like whole dealio of obviously liking Yuki, but like deciding not to say anything, but then like getting all like uppity with Itsuomi. It felt like a little sort of like cliche at times, I guess.
A little immature on his part.
Yeah, like sort of like, childhood friend finally realizes he likes his childhood friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It didn't. I'm definitely having to search. Like, I'm not. This is
no, for sure.
That I would have to like that I would think of off the top of my head. But
you could have just said nothing.
Sure, but I wanted to keep it interesting, Kevin.
Yeah, I feel you. A little devil's advocate.
If I were to describe the show to someone, I would say it has no flaws. But I genuinely love the show. Oh, I rated it as a 10 on my Mal list.
Mm-hmm. Angel, what's your rate on your Mal list?
Where would I rate it on my Mal list?
Yeah. Man, he's really thinking.
I don't know.
I feel like you're usually so quick with jabs.
Bro, no jabs here. That's not good news.
That's true.
Shout outs to the art, because it's beautiful all the way out. I don't think it ever has a moment where I go like, oh, this could have been animated better, or this could have been, a design choice could have been different. Like it's really pretty to look at the whole way through. The flower scenes in episode 12 when they go to the park, and she's looking at the wisteria and she's talking about the flowers. So like, yeah, just a phenomenal phenomenal. Anything else you guys want to say before we get into where we're rating it?
I don't know. I think I've praised it plenty.
Yeah, and Tanner's praised it as much as he could.
In that case, Tanner, I think I already know your answer.
Actually,
oh, he's got some.
The only show I have watched weekly ever. Everything
that's
else
wild
I've
to me.
watched after the fact.
Yeah. It's kind of wild that you're on this podcast, but
Well, I just watched shows that aren't new.
Oh gosh, so funny. No. I mean, it's great when you are
Involved.
I was gonna say when you're making statements like, oh, this is the only anime I've ever watched weekly, like that. I think that's bold. That says a lot about how much you like the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into rankings. F through S. Tanner, I think we all know what your rating is. And you know what? I am actually in full agreement. I think it's to say that there are any flaws, and it is a great romance anime. Like it deserves a lot of recognition for its art style, its pacing, and the plot and the characters. Yeah. So the whole thing, Angel, where would you have it rated?
I would have put it in S tier.
An easy S tier. That's a group S tier. No conversation, no debate needed. A sign of affection, as close to a perfect show in Tanner's eyes.
Pretty much.
And I would say I am in agreement. It is super, super good. And then my bias with the plot, being in college also bumps it.
I'm a hoe for romance, so
oh. Then why aren't you watching Dangers in My Heart?
I'll get around to it eventually after I watch Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. A show we will talk about for sure. When we do an episode on like continuing anime. Probably after the Mushoku episode that we will record. Let's move on to what is and should be considered the most hyped anime for this season, in terms of new anime at least. Solo Leveling. Cade, if you could unmute yourself. The fun's about to begin.
The fun is beginning.
The fun is beginning.
All right.
Let's go ahead and talk about Solo Leveling. What's the general vibe here? What's the general consensus? Cade, you first. What do you think? What do you think about Solo Leveling? What's the vibe?
I definitely don't feel as strongly about it as you guys did for A Sign of Affection, that's for sure.
I mean, fair. In Solo Leveling's defense, I don't want to call it a setup season, but it's not like, I don't feel like we have approached the meat of what is to come. And that's as someone who hasn't read the webtoon. For all I know, it's downhill from here.
Yeah. I think shit. It's just like
You got lots of words.
Let's start.
It's hard
start
because
here.
like I like it. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and especially with the most recent episodes, like with the fight against Ignis, I think that's his name.
The Red Knight, yeah.
Top tier fight there. The animation in every fight has been really good, but it just doesn't hit the same as the manhwa does.
Okay, so would you say you have a positive vibe with with season 1?
Yes.
Okay, it's a good place to start. Tanner, I forgot to ask, are you squeamish
Yeah.
about spoilers?
No, you can talk about this one. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Tanner's like, I'll read the manhwa anyways. I'll do what you guys did in 6 hours in 30 minutes. It probably will take you like 30 minutes. Yeah. Angel,
It's me.
I've caught a lot of flack from you for my opinions of soul leveling. So I'm interested to hear. Yes, I have.
I don't recall a single flack I've thrown at you.
Oh, you've thrown flack. What is your opinion on soul leveling?
I think it was good.
Mm-hmm. Good. Keyword. Great.
I said good.
Okay. I'm going to do something that I've never done on the show. I'm going to give you my ranking straight ahead. I think this is an A tier show. However, I want you guys to not take this the wrong way. I think it might be one of the most disappointing A tier shows I've seen. And that is mostly due maybe to me hyping it up in my head because I've heard, friends talk about the manhwa. I've read like the very opening of the manhwa. People are talking about this like it's going to be like the next big thing. And it's certainly good. And when it decides that it wants to be a great anime, it is a great anime. Otherwise, it's not bad, but there's like an air of something missing, and I cannot put my finger on it, boys. I wish I've thought about it. I'm like, what really is it missing? And I honestly, I stand by what I said in the mid-season review. I think that the opening episodes are paced really poorly. And I think some of those pacing issues creep in here and there, but it's not as egregious in my opinion. I objectively in my head, I'm like, this is a really good show. I just don't. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there is something keeping me from being happy that it's an A tier. You know? Does that make sense?
I mean, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I'm not disappointed by anything you're saying. I'm not gonna disown you from this podcast for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm fine with it. In here.
I feel like he's holding back flack. You heard that in his voice, right?
Well, look, I ain't no German flack, all right?
All right. Fair enough. This isn't War Thunder. Yeah. Oh, hey. Maybe while we're talking about it, maybe we can figure this out. So, what do you guys think is like the defining like aspect of the show that like puts it in A tier? What is like, is it the action, the story, characters? Like, what stands out to you guys?
Knowing what's coming.
It's coming. Wait, that's kind of a cheat answer. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm a kid on this one.
No. Fuck both of you. No. I don't want to hear it. We are strictly reviewing season 1. We can't.
They've been teasing season 2 stuff.
Knowing what's coming.
Okay.
Am I wrong, though, Angel?
You're not wrong.
That's a bitch ass answer. I'm not going to lie. I'm over here in the dark. I'm in the dark. I just feel like that further justifies my opinion, if anything.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Okay. I don't want to sound too negative. So let's talk about actually season 1. Like what are some genuine positives from the panel here?
They added a lot of anime only content in a way that developed the world better. A lot of, how would I say it? Different perspective from the side characters that you just never get in the manhwa, you know?
Interesting.
And like they're developing those side characters, while in the manga they never even get introduced until like their arc, you know?
Okay.
So that was pretty neat for me to see. A nice little change. Cade, you got anything?
Fuck, dude.
Oh, Cade,
I enjoyed all the fights, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
It's an
It's like
A tier for you,
all I
Cade?
can think about is just what's coming, you know? And like they did all the animation right? And so like I can't fault it for not having a strong like or interesting plot so far because it's not hit that interesting point. It's hard because like I know it's necessary. Everything that's been done so far has been necessary for setting up season 2. I think the only way to make season 1 stronger would be to somehow shorten it to include some of season 2. I don't even know how you would do that.
I did say those opening first 3 episodes were a little slow.
Yeah, that's.
They were, look. For me, the first 2 episodes they were slow, but I still enjoyed them a lot.
I mean, I would rate the first 3 episodes a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's above the enjoyable threshold. But man, I just don't. As someone who has not read the manhwa, it's hard for me to comprehend this show having the level of hype that it got preseason. Honestly, it would be. I think it would have been in the show's best interest to have been a 10-episode core, and it totally could have done it.
You know what it is, and I just realized this now.
Well, let's hear this.
The manhwa rode out the success of the first chapter throughout to where it this season has ended. So like, even though in the manhwa like all this content in the middle is it's informative, but it's not necessarily like super, you know, interesting and unique, you know. It's the uniqueness came from in the very beginning and how they set it up, right? With him being
the hook.
Yes. And so when they hooked you with that, you were able to skip through, you know, the mediocreness of what we've seen so far, right?
I would say that, yeah, maybe like the story doesn't pick up again until you meet Igris in the manhwa.
Exactly.
But the manhwa is very popular because of the high quality illustrations it has, I want to say.
Is that it?
Yes.
Definitely a part of it.
Yes.
For sure, but still.
That was one of my complaints in the mid-season review too. I did not think the art style was like popping, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the manhwa pops a lot in the in the art, you know.
It does. Yep.
In the panels, there's a lot of more hype moments, and I mean, there's stills. So, compared to the anime, that's different.
I think it's just that maybe if they had gone for a 2-core and they had hooked you in the very beginning better, because I mean, I think we discussed it in the mid-season, right? Those first 2 episodes weren't enough of a hook to justify the slowness of the 3rd episode in Kevin's mind.
Yeah, I did say that.
So, it's. I think if the hook was better, right? If they had done the hook in the way that the manhwa did it, I think that would have made the mediocreness of the middle section more manageable, and we would feel better about it. And then once we got to the fight with Igris, we would, obviously be having a good time like we are now, because it was a really good fight, and they animated it really well, and just had a really good time with it. But yeah,
I feel like for me, sometimes you have to reject modernity and embrace tradition, and sometimes tradition needs to change. 12 episodes, I think, could have been shortened to 10, and I don't think that would have been like a bad thing. I think Mushoku first core, if I'm not mistaken, either first or second core was 10
First
episodes.
core was like 10, right?
Yeah. So it's not like it can't be done and be interesting, It
was 11 episodes.
Was it 11? Still,
Yeah.
like they did not feel pressured to force an episode 12 in. You know what I mean? By spreading out the previous plot. They paced it and they were like, it has to end here. I think Solo Leveling could have done with a little bit of that. I think, you know what, boys? I'm not going to lie to you. I think there is a least favorite fight in this show for me, and it's against the B rank assassin build guy. Thought that was kind of lame. I thought it was kind of a lame fight, especially with the like in episode 4 when he's in the dungeon, the secret dungeon, and he fights the what is it, like not a dragon, but it's like is it no, not
the serpent,
spider.
the spider,
the serpent. Yeah,
serpent.
That one. No, good fight.
Good fight.
Good
But
fight.
you think that
Spider
was worse
fight.
than the fight with the spider?
Spider fight was all right. The highlight of the spider fight isn't the spider. It's
It's the
it's him
the other.
yeeting those guys, and that's a good, it's an interesting moment. But then when he confronts the B rank assassin guy, I was not moved, either in animation quality or like emotional gravity. I think it was probably the weakest of the action scenes in the show. Look, all right. Admittedly. Oh, you know what? No, I was gonna say we should probably start talking about what we actually like about the show. But I do want to say one thing. This show did not need a recap episode.
It did not.
Whoever. Oh my god, dude! I'd rather just have no episode release. Dude. Oh. If it was at least like one of those recap episode where they have like that voice actors talking and the guy's like, yeah, so like, I had to really think about like where Jinwoo is right now and like what his headspace is at, and like, he's maturing in lifetime. So you see like he's talking about like where he pinpoints where he sees the growth and where he changes his voice, because that is one of the best things about this show, is that as Jinwoo grows stronger, he changes a lot, including in his voice and his like mannerisms. That would have been fine if it was a recap episode, it would have been kind of fun. But no, it's just a straight recap, and it's just, why? Did you guys feel? And I know you read the manhwa, so obviously, like, you have a little bit of benefit there. But do you feel like those first 7 episodes were, I don't know, confusing in any way, or like notable enough to require a 7.5 recap?
No.
Fucking
Whoever
wild.
greenlit that, fire him.
Get him out.
Eat him off this world.
Sorry. Okay. I'm done venting. That Igris fight was fucking awesome.
Bro, that 6-piece combo. I'm not sure if you know which one I'm talking about.
Well, I don't know. It just sounds funny. It sounds like a KFC meal. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hold on. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna share my screen.
I will say, I think there's a little bit. It felt a little cheap that he got out of the fight by getting into his punishment game. Like, it makes sense with the rules of the world, but it's like, I don't know. He got lucky. You know what I mean? In that Igris fight, or no, it's post Igris when he's like fighting all the shells.
Yeah.
What is he streaming?
I just wanted to show you the 6-piece combo I'm talking about.
Okay, that one. Okay.
Let's see.
And then the yeah. When Jinwoo gets absolutely bodied.
Yeah. How do I
Yeah.
do this? Man got like flipped onto the ground or something. Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's excellent. And yeah, that fight was obviously super well animated, and seeing how he beats Igris with the whole, like, you know, the inventory, like he takes advantage of the inventory rules to beat him as well. Like, that was also super interesting. Very fluid, very nice, very good. Loved it. Do you guys have any other highlights of the show that you guys want to talk about?
No.
I don't really have any more highlights, but I do have a con for me personally.
Oh, different than what I've been saying.
Yeah,
I
or
hear
something
this.
you haven't mentioned yet.
I want to hear this.
Maybe just a me thing or somebody else.
Lay it on us.
But
I'm very interested.
I am not a fan of Sung Jin-woo's voice actor.
Really?
We said the exact opposite last time.
I'm not a fan of his voice. I think it's boring for somebody as a main character's like storytelling voice.
It is very like shoujo anime prince. You know, like kind of like a Seventh Time Loop. We're watching like a very Arnold Hine type of voice, right? Yeah.
This was just a personal thing. I'm not sure if you guys would agree, but
Angel, we talked about it last time. Why, like,
but that was in the mid-season review.
But remember, Angel, I can't say anything.
Remember our bond?
No. Just
it's like we had a pact.
No.
Remember that special night in Paris?
Look. I can't say anything, Angel. I'm just hoping that you remember why he's so monotone.
No, I don't remember. Just shoot me a message real quick.
Okay,
like, kid. I feel like I know where you're going with this, but currently, it's not fan. Maybe my opinion changes, you know, but.
Do you think it's too quick? Like the transformation from this like really like he has like a sort of Deku vibe to him. Heavy, has a lot of fluctuations in his voice, and then he's leveling up, and you think he becomes monotone a little too quick. Is that maybe the real complaint?
I can understand maybe too quick, maybe, but I still think it sounds like the voice actor is okay, especially with the situation that Sung Jin Woo is in.
Yeah, I think it's I don't have the strongest opinion one way or another. I would say I lean positive. I think the voice actor does a great job. I know in the dub, I have not watched the dub, but I know in the dub, the voice actor for Sung Jin Woo is Alex Lay, and he does the main voice for the Persona 3 Pro Tag. So I might check that out, to be honest with you. Maybe we'll double back. Maybe it's a better dub than a sub. Ooh. It'd be funny for a show of this caliber, to be honest, but
Bro, watch it in Korean.
all right, now that's asking too much. Claudia might. Shoot. Do we have anything more to say about solo leveling?
That was it. I just wanted to throw that out. Made my opinion known.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad opinion. I do like, now that I'm like thinking back on it, yeah, it's a little quick. I think you probably should still have at least some emotion up until like probably episode 9, be a little less monotone in my head, but I don't know if it's like egregious, As a person who has not read the manhwa, I do think it's interesting that he is becoming a necromancer, essentially. I think that's not something you usually see in like a main pro tag, build. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Obviously, I don't want you guys to tell me anything. Cade, you got any final thoughts?
I feel undecisive. Indecisive, I guess is the correct term.
Yes. I was just repeating back.
Yeah.
What about what exactly?
Just like all my responses, I feel like today. I think I've just been having a weird, very stressful week, and so anime in general has been very enjoyable. In as a whole, so I think it's kind of giving me rose tinted glasses on a lot of things. So in reality, I'm like, solo leveling might actually be like a B or a C, just based on the facts, right? But because it's been a nice break from everything, I think I've been reviewing everything a lot higher in my head. And who knows, maybe later I'll have to change my mind about it, but as of right now, it's like, yeah.
I know I am coming off very negative for this show. I do stand by the A rating because the setup is unique. The characters are no, I can't even go there. Jinwoo's interesting. Jinwoo's interesting. His little palace. A little know if I really like his rich friend. The animation is excellent when it chooses to be excellent, and I really think that's putting it at a level, and the plot as a whole is putting it at that level. I think my biggest complaints are pacing. Honestly, I think there's a lot of time used that could have been used on either something else or on just not existing or just not being there. And if that means you go 11 episodes instead of 12 or 10 episodes instead of 12, like, I don't see that as a problem personally. So we talked about our rankings early though, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with my A tier. Cade, or your indecisiveness, are you
I'm still at an A tier, but
okay?
yeah.
Maybe tomorrow you wake up.
I just think I'm very out of it today. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough. Hey, that's fair. We all have our days. Angel, your ranking?
A low A.
A low A. Okay. Not gonna lie to you, boys. I thought I was gonna get more flack for my disappointing A tier opinion, but it looks like we have more common ground than I thought. I cannot wait for Tanner to watch it and give me a bunch of shit for my opinion.
Tanner is.
I feel like
his black.
Tanner. Well, here's the thing. I remember at the beginning when we did the mid-season review, and Tanner, you actually did watch the first 3 episodes. You were the most vocal about my pacing opinion. I felt like.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So I'm interested to hear like what your opinion would be after you watched all 12 episodes, which probably won't happen for a couple of years. So
yeah,
I'll be waiting with great anticipation.
Whose opinion was who anymore? I'd have to go back and listen.
I was the mostly negative opinion.
Yeah, but like, were you negative because it was too what?
Too slow.
Too slow. That's right. I remember Angel was actually on my side for this.
I was very middle of the ground.
I want to know where Angel stands now that we've seen all 12 episodes. You still think I'm crazy, Angel, or?
Bro, I'm on Tanner's side.
Fair enough. I can't win them all. Hey, not even Messi scores every goal. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You think Ken Griffey Jr. hit a home run every time he stepped up the bat? No.
Who's that?
Oh my word.
Yeah, who is that?
Do you think Taylor Swift comes out with a banger every time she goes in the studio?
Who's that?
We watched the Super Bowl together. I know you know.
You're talking about Travis Kelce's girlfriend?
That's right. What a way to belittle a woman in power.
A woman on Pride Month.
Oh my god.
Bro, Cade just got canceled.
Cade just got canceled?
That was last month, Cade. Thank you.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh wow, Cade did get canceled.
Yeah.
I'm watching my friends burn their lives right before my eyes. Oh boys, just to give an overall recap. Delicious in Dungeon. Wait, did we say A or S tier? I forget.
Delicious we were in Dungeon. We were in A.
We were in A. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were high A because we wanted to see where it went.
Yeah. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon A. Sign of Affection S. Soul Leveling A. Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. I would say a pretty middle to low B, which is still good. And Level 99 Villainess. A C, our only C tier show. So overall, hey, that's a good list. You know, that's not bad. No shows below a C tier. Granted, we only had 5 shows, so it's would have been pretty hard. But you know what? There's a pretty successful end of season review. We definitely were talking a lot longer than I thought we would be. But I had fun today, boys. I hope you guys did too.
I did, Kevin.
And if you had fun listening to us at home, feel free to let us know. Hey, Tanner, social media manager. What was the email again?
The email. The email. Yeah, you could email us at anyanimepodcast@gmail.com.
Well, I'm sorry, I my internet cut out. What was that again?
Oh, of course. Let me repeat. Anyanimepodcast@gmail.com.
And that's our only social media. Anyways.
Excuse me.
Oh, am I wrong?
You get back here, young man, and you log on to the computer to good old x.com, formerly known as Twitter, if I want to say it the way that like literally every publication does.
Correctly known as Twitter, you mean?
Correctly known as Twitter. Yes. And you're going to search up any anime pod and leave us a message. Tweet at us. Sorry, post at us. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Yeah, we don't want Daddy to be mad at us for using the wrong
Daddy Musk.
Daddy Musk. Oh God. Even joking, that just said, chill just ran out. It's fine. I did not like that at all. Thank you for joining us. This has been Kevin Cade and permanent guest Angel Tanner.
That's right.
One of these days, we'll move you guys up. We'll move you guys up to executive guests.
Hell yeah. Do we get the VIP guest package?
No, but you get a key to the executive bathroom.
Nice.
Currently being constructed.
Well, that's better than like the pits in the ground that we've been having to use.
Right.
We gave them access to the pit.
I had them dig their own pits at their desk.
Oh, okay. So not our pits.
No, he just gave us a gardening trowel.
Okay.
It was amazing because like Angel's on the second floor, so it's just going straight down onto his neighbors. I don't know how they feel about it, but I mean, you still live there, so I guess it's working out. I also live on the second floor. My pit's starting to. You know what? This is a bad bit. I regret this bit a lot.
Bad bit.
It did go on for a little longer than I expected it to. That's for sure.
Just like solo leveling. Anyways, let's go ahead and say goodnight, boys.
Brought it around town.
You know what? I said earlier that sometimes modernity needs to be embraced. This is not one of those times. Tradition around these parts is the howl. And who better to do the howl than the howl man himself? Cade, you gave a very angry howl the very last time we recorded.
That's right. Yes.
How about some positive howls?
Henny away.
That's a good surfer howl. I like it. Yeah, dude. All right, Craig, I need you to leave.